Welcome again to It Doesn't Take a Genius, conversation with introspective perspectives and pithy points of view. Here are your hosts, my friends, Max and Marty.
I think that's Mark and Mike.
Yeah, whatever.
Ramsey.
Marshall, glad to see you back at Cheers. Hope you're.
Oh yeah, everybody knows your name, or your statistical fallacies, as Cliff would say.
Nice. Yeah, this is a Cliff Clavin one. Yeah.
Yeah. This does sound like something Cliff Clavin would bring up. Well, the historical significance of the statistical fallacy. It started in the ancient Inca Empire. Not many people know. Stop it. So we continue down our fallacy journey, this has been pretty fun. And here's something I figured out that started to happen as we were talking about them. I started to put people, associate specific people with some of these. Like, wait a minute. Yeah.
Bill does this all the time.
He does this every time we talk. Yeah, this is his go-to move right here.
That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, as you're listening to this, both of you, just think about, who's used this on you? Yeah. Maybe they only, we've got like 200 of these things, but maybe they only have one, right? And it's the one that they just keep going to the well on this statistical fallacy, right? Or on the propaganda, or avoiding the question. So,
and we consider this series a sequel to our series about crucial conversations. That this is, in crucial conversations, you're having an argument about something. And if you could get to the heart of what's wrong about your story or their story, what's the logical fallacy, what's the thing that's just not true, it'll help you, label that and get past that in the conversation. But man, I mean, hey, tune in a political speech, watch a commercial, watch any sort of video you want to, and you're going to hear these fallacies. So you'll have fun picking these out and realizing how often you basically are told things that are not true.
Oh yeah. We recommend printing off your sheet and keeping it handy at all times.
Right, that won't be weird at all.
Yeah. Oh, genetic fallacy. Check.
Right.
I believe that was a little bit of snob appeal.
Right.
Excellent. It's
a fun game called it's fallacy bingo. A lot of people play
fallacy
it.
bingo.
Very hip with the kids.
Yeah, once I get 3 in a row, I quit talking to you. Yeah, it's obvious we're not going to have a meaningful conversation, so we can't talk anymore. So you stop doing this.
So today is the category statistical fallacies, and you'll see why here in a moment. We've covered the idea of propaganda, these sort of appeals to your emotions in some form or fashion. And we also talked about avoiding the question, just things we do that are, red herrings in some sense of the word. And now we're going to talk about a category that's a little more about the comparison between things and how that comparison is probably not accurate. So you'll see as we go here. The first one being hasty generalizations. So the hasty generalization is when you make an argument based on a really small sample, right? A poor or small sample of a group. So I see this a lot, Mike. I've given a couple. I mean, gosh, we could talk for a day and a half on each of these. We can't have an employee team. There's no way we can get a member from each department to show up in a room. Ours became a gripe session. When we did that, it was a gripe session. So we can't have that anymore. No more gripe sessions. We're not going to do it anymore.
Yeah, well, and the fallacy is that all cross-functional employee rooms are gripe sessions.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It almost goes without saying.
Right.
That's
right.
It's so obvious.
There's your sign, right? There's your sign that you got an issue.
Yeah, you get people from different departments together. The only thing they can ever do would just be to gripe about stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's probably incorrect. There might be other things that we could find value in them getting together besides griping.
Well, I think on this one,
we might want to do besides griping.
Yeah, I think on this one, we might even be able to use the term. I think that might be a hasty generalization.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
You'll see a
this
lot
was,
of parallels here, a lot of
yeah.
overlap.
The rest of them, yeah, don't ever use the term. But yeah, this one, yeah, kind of, yeah, it's not a smack upside the head, but yeah, it's like it kind of fits, the conversation. Yeah, I like your other examples. Yeah, millennials are lazy. We hired two and they didn't work. Yeah.
Yeah. And the issue there is, why didn't they work, right? Maybe there was a deficit to your leadership style. Maybe they were two people and you didn't talk to the 5 million other, millennials out there who actually do work. But you've made a hasty generalization based on your small experience, and you're going to let that rule the day. And that's you are not thinking correctly when you do that. Hurting yourself.
And these could be maybe even stereotypes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've met 3 people from Canada and all of them are nice.
Right.
Everyone in Canada is nice. I've met 3 of them. Yeah. Like, no, they have serial killers. Yeah. They have crime. Yeah.
They do have a police force.
Yeah.
It's there for a reason.
Yeah, with cool hats.
Right.
And boots. Yeah. All right. So the next one is the weak analogy.
Yeah, the weak analogy. So 2 things are similar in some way. That's kind of a small, side issue. And because of that, they must be similar in really, really big ways. So an example that I gave, he'll be a great employee. He looks just like one of our star salesmen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He'll be a great religious leader because he has pastor hair.
Right.
Yeah. Once you have that evangelical hair,
and the goatee.
Yeah. The Lord is working through that guy. Right. Because he gave him the great hair.
And there's one that we would not say out loud, right? You'd never say that and really, really like mean it, right? But we might think it, right? Like that might be subconsciously something that we're going, he does have great hair. He's just going to be a great leader. Not true, right? That those 2 things don't have anything to do with each other. So you can't say what's similar in a small way makes them similar in a big way. That's the weak analogy.
Yeah. I was watching this TV program on con artists and stuff like that. And that was something that I noticed was they all had this similar like appearance. They were, they just, they look like leaders and mans and, and it's like, I think that might help them. Right. If I've got the appearance, then people automatically give me, that, thinking, well, he looks like he knows what he's talking about. I'm sure he does. Yeah.
Boy, we could go down a trail here, the how you dress, how you look. I mean, there's a lot of parallels to how people get paid and all sorts of things, right? So we know this shows up subconsciously.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So all right, Mr. Latin guy. What's the next one?
Well, let me butcher it for you. I believe it's post hoc ergo propter hoc is how you'll often hear it said. And it's basically a phrase.
I've often heard it said that.
Oh, well, you know what? Now, since you said that, where you might have heard it
so often. It's just like carpe diem. They're just carpe diem and post hoc ergo propter hoc. Just similar in usage in the American vernacular.
Look, are you an Aaron Sorkin fan? He used it in is Aaron Sorkin did West Wing, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
West Wing. There's an episode of West Wing that has a scene where they talk about this, and it's in fact, I'm going to link to it. I'm sure there's a YouTube clip of it somewhere. But the idea is that it's a Latin phrase that means after this, therefore, because of this. In other words, something happened after we did XYZ, and they must be related. They must be the cause. I've had discussions like this before. We can't do another employee lunch. We had 2 people quit after the last one.
Oh yeah.
Well, maybe they quit for reasons besides the lunch. The lunch itself is not the reason that these 2 people quit.
Mhm.
And so if correlation is not the same thing as causation, I believe is the way the statistics people put it.
Right. Well, thank you, Dan Edgar. The
I'm going to send him this episode.
Oh yeah. Well, he taught me that. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. Yeah. Everybody who we've put through our formal orientation has quit the company within 2 months.
Right.
Well, we obviously it's clear that we need to get rid of the formal orientation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That can't be true, right? There might be a million other things going on that would have caused that problem.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Everybody we've hired that drives a minivan, right, has poor grammar skills.
That's a good one.
What? No, they're not connected.
Well, I'm going to tell you the next one that we're going to cover, the last one, as a matter of fact, the statistical fallacies. There's just the 4. This one has cost, I'm going to say, for just the clients that I've called on over the years, I bet you this one has cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm just going to tell you, I think it's been that expensive to them. Proof by lack of evidence. So what we're basically doing here is we're claiming that something is true because there hasn't been any evidence against it.
Wow.
We're
Okay.
going to claim that it's true because there's nothing that says that what we claimed isn't true. And I have heard, I'm going to give you 2 sentences, and I'm going to tell you I heard them in, I'm going to say, roughly 20 different car dealerships in the early 2000s.
Oh yeah.
And here are the 2 sentences. Our internet traffic is mainly kids playing around. I haven't seen any proof to the contrary. It's just kids. We need to ignore this whole thing. Let's just forget it. Just forget it. It's just that the whole thing's a boondoggle.
Oh
and
yeah.
It cost easily hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah. There's no way, especially if it was a nice car, if it was a sporty car.
Right.
Yeah. All our Mustang leads are just young kids, dreaming, poking around.
Yeah. Every time we call one, it's just a kid.
Yeah. It's just, nobody buys nobody online buys Mustangs.
Yeah.
Really?
I had that conversation about 5 years steady.
Oh yeah.
A lot of stores.
Yeah, that was a big one. It was right after Al Gore invented the internet.
Right.
And R.E. Lawson taught us how to use it. That
R.E. Lawson.
Wasn't that his name?
Are you talking about Dr.
Lawson.
Dr. Rawson?
Dr. Rawson, yeah. That was
R.E. Lawson. That's even better.
Yeah, that was close.
He was a thought partner.
But yeah, so yeah, we had this opportunity to dispel all the myths around, and there were worse myths.
Yeah.
Right. And we both knew a guy that both pulled us aside at some point and told us Satan lives on the internet.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, there was a definite lack of proof.
Right.
But this person, in order to not engage with this new medium, came up with this statistical fallacy that everything on the internet was the work of Satan. Therefore, we shouldn't go there.
Yeah. Well, that was why, Nixon was such a shock to people, Reagan was such a shock to a lot of people. I can't remember who was the author, but he had one of his reporter friends say, I can't believe Reagan won. I didn't know a single person who voted for Reagan. In their head, they, and I'm not trying to be political here, but, they're in their circle, in their sphere, there was no evidence to the contrary. So how in the world could he win? Well, but if you looked at the data, if you looked at the polling, you might have come to some other conclusions. So don't do that. These are all statistical fallacies. You're pulling some data that is not actual data because you're making comparisons that really aren't there, making cause and effect statements that really aren't there.
Oh yeah. Well, I think the theme here is your sample size is too small.
Yeah.
So you got too few examples. You got too small a sample size, and so to use this as a legitimate fallacy, as a legitimate argument, is just not going to hold up. It might point us in a direction. All right, well, so let's go investigate that.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's prove this to be either the reality or not the reality.
Well, and doesn't that honor the point of crucial conversations? Like, let's go actually learn and seek to understand instead of to just go make an argument, right? So, so do that. Go learn, be curious, and find out what's really going on instead of just stopping at the surface level of saying, "Well, we made a blanket argument. It's probably true. Let's keep on moving."
Oh yeah, and I think the person using these is hoping you will give up.
Yeah,
and you'll just take it at face value. Well, yeah, I guess all millennials are lazy. You're right. All right, so we'll never hire anybody under the age of 55. Just to avoid it completely. So yeah, there is some hope that you'll tacitly agree, right? Or
and sometimes we're lying to ourselves, right? Like we'd like to just believe this,
I'd like to believe
makes life easier for us.
Yeah. My favorite. Yeah, these young people don't want to work. Really? Have you been to Chick-fil-A?
Right.
There's 30 young people just killing themselves in that place. All right. All young people except those in Chick-fil-A don't want to work. It's like, no, you can't change it.
Yeah, the local Chick-fil-A found the 30 good ones. The rest are trash. Just absolute garbage.
Yeah, this is a town of 1.5 million people. There's only 30 good young people, and they got them all. It's like, so some of these are fun to shoot down, right? Yeah. But the key here is not to let them take you off track for the primary conversation that you're wanting to have.
That's right. How did you arrive at this conclusion? That's often the question that will help you unpack a lot of these fallacies and get to back to the heart of what's really going on. So, all right.
Cool. Well, let's hear from the most popular voiceover announcer in America that I know, Mr. John Wolf. Take it away, John.
So go ahead and tweet that, or share it any other way you want. As always, there are no rights reserved, no trademarks, no copyrights. Share it if you want to. And join us next time on It Doesn't Take a Genius.
That's good enough.